All right, first question. You said get out of prison. My question is, what is there outside of this prison? If you haven't been outside, you don't know what outside is like. So if you are a frog inside a well, and you always think that the sky is always like a circle, the frog said, that's the sky. And the frog wouldn't know that there's unlimited space outside the opening of the well. He can only listen to whoever is up there telling him what happened, right? Because he hasn't experienced yet. You got to have true experience to know what happened outside. You need somebody to tell you what is outside. That person should be standing on top of the well, looking down and say, here, there's no boundaries in here. You can jump freely. You can breathe fresh air. You don't have to breathe the air in the well. And watch out, sometimes you've got poison if the well water is not that good. So the frog can only visualize what other people told him. But apart from that, let's talk about not just of the prison outside. How about the prison inside? Don't you have to know the inside first? Because if the inside is so comfortable, how you won't think of getting out. Because you're living in a comfort zone, how can you get out? So living in the inside, though, if there's an analogy, say we've been living in this world. Say if we're a frog inside this world. What this world is all about? This world is a world where you live up to 100 years and then you died. This is a world when you were born in here, you're born with a karmic energy, and then you go through all this, we call 12 dependent origination. You go through, you become a baby, and then you become a teenager, an adult, and you go through all these stages of development. Then during the stages of development, you suffer. You suffer from sickness, and some people suffer from a broken home. Some people suffer from being abused. Some people know they're born in a good family, and the parents love them. But then all of a sudden, after 12 years or 10 years, the parents all of a sudden got a divorce and you didn't know where to go. You follow your mom and your mom get married to another guy and that guy doesn't treat you well, and then you have a different plight of life. So everything is changing in this world. But we know that we are going through what? We're going through sickness, aging, departure from beloved ones, living with hated ones. And we are living in a world with a lot of other people with other personalities. They may be biased, they may be cruel, they may be, I don't know, so many things happen in this world. And sometimes you may encounter happiness, but many, many times there were sufferings. And then finally, you have to die. It takes more than just average intelligence to figure out why, all these whys and hows and where of life. So in this little well that the frog is in, he's living in prison. He's not free. He has emotions and he has emotions, he has greediness, hatred, jealousy, revenge. All these things happen. And his behavior and what he's going to experience is highly dependent on how other people experience, on how other people behave too. Especially if you're in a war, especially in natural disasters, you go through all this suffering. So you have to know what this prison is all about. Are you satisfied with this life? Some people will say, yes, I'm satisfied. Why is he satisfied? Because at the age of 18 only, everything he's gone through a rosy garden of a luxury family. His parents were rich, sent him to a good university, give him all the mentors that he want. He hadn't got any sickness before. The most serious sickness is having a flu, where he was in a hospital and his parents came to visit him in the hospital, and he was so pleased with parents coming home. So he's gone through a rosy garden at age 18. He didn't feel any suffering at all. So he thought that the world has no suffering. Until maybe finally when he got married, he was married to an alcoholic. And the alcoholic sometimes, out of uncontrolled temper, beat her up all the time, and they got a divorce. And then unfortunately there was also a son, a baby. So he had to look after the baby. And then the baby all of a sudden had OCD or whatever, all kinds of psychological, oh my goodness, when you think of this, you think of, oh, how come life is like that? And of course there are people who encounter good chances in life, good opportunities in life. But it does not matter what chances you have. Whether you were born in a golden key family, whether a rich family, you were born in a millionaire family, you were born in a very poor family, you still have to go through basic sufferings, aging, sickness, departure from beloved ones, departure from living with hated ones, insatiable desires, arrogance, natural disasters, all these would come up to you. So this prison is not good for you, it's not permanent. How can you be happy in where you are if you know that you have to die? One day you have to die. You become sick. You get aging. Everything is not perfection. So this is a prison, right? If you say, this is not a prison, I'm happy with dying, then okay, then you go through another round of reincarnation. In this round of reincarnation, you may be more fortunate because you were born in a good family, you have good education, and because you were born in a good family, a very rich millionaire, multimillionaire family, you were spoiled. Because you were spoiled, you commit a lot of non-meritorious deeds, like relationships, like many hobbies and likings that people who got spoiled, they were in that kind of life, luxury life, and life that's not in line with morality. So you've gone through all that. How can this world be a world of heaven? Even heaven is not the final place to go, because heaven is not out from samsara yet. It's better than this world. So you said, get out of prison. My question is, what is there outside of the prison? You can only listen to who is already outside. And the Buddha said, I already got out. You don't even know if the Buddha is telling you the truth, but he told you. Outside is all free, fresh air, everything. There's nothing like that. There's nothing like what you experience in there. Get out from there. You may not believe him, right? But then you say, what should I believe in? What leads me to believe in something? I don't have to get out from the well to believe that there is a freedom outside of well. I have to depend on if I have the necessary education that I have to believe in my analysis, in my watchful impressions of things in life. Then I can come up with something that I should believe in. Everyone is believing things like that. So that's what the Buddha said. That's what the saints said. Get out from it. And because you have no other choice. If you still live in prison, there's no other choice. But you want to get out, even though you don't actually know, but being told that the freedom is there, you still want to try, right? Said if you haven't been to Canada, for example, you were living in an underdeveloped, non-democratic dictatorship country where you suffer. Some people say, okay, you go to that place called Canada, and you have democracy in there. Everybody has a vote. You can choose your own leader, and you can do this, you can do that, you can do that. You're already suffering. Why don't you try out something new? There's a place where freedom is. You haven't been there, but you can try it out. That's the only thing I can tell you, because you haven't been a Buddha yet. I haven't been a Buddha yet, but I can only listen to what the saint told me. And based on my analysis, I think I should try it out. That place, I should try it out to get out from there. I know I'm suffering now. If there's a place that would free me of all these miseries, I would like to try to go there to see what happened. Because I still have a choice to come back if I want, right? You won't. If you are in a full democratic society, would you go back to a society where there's no freedom? You won't go back. If you're living in a society that is free from pollutants, are you going to go back to a society that is all polluted? You won't. Because you tasted freedom. You don't know freedom before, now you tasted it, you know it. Okay? So, that's my partial answer to this question. Unless you have anything you argue that you don't agree. Raise your hands. Challenged it. Do you agree? Or you still want to live in this prison? Because you're not sure whether getting out of prison is good enough for you. What is the recommended amount of time to meditate per day? I meditate 30 minutes in the morning and 30 minutes in the evening, and practice loving kindness before bed. Is this a good amount to practice? Do you have any suggestion for a first-time retreat? I have registered for a 10-day Vipassana in Merritt, BC. We have a lot of meditation practices, 7 days. We have a lot of retreats. We even have a retreat on Bowen Island. We always have retreats. It's just that if you come for the first time, you don't know we have a retreat. Maybe you should get onto our website where we will tell you what kind of activities we have. We have a 7-day activities. We have an activities where you will be tonsured as a monk or a nun for 7 days and live in the temple for 7 days. For those who come here regularly, not for people that we don't know. For people we know, then they can always come to, even living in here, to practice meditation. So, how many minutes we should do every morning and every evening? There's no standard to it. Some people do it for 30 minutes. Some people do it for 3 hours. But what is the good amount to practice? There's no fixed amount. The more the better. But then, it's not just about the time. It's about the value of it, the magnitude of it. If you spend 6 hours in meditation where you don't practice, where actually your mind is wandering all over the place, or actually you are sleeping, it's the quality and not the quantity of time. And assuming that you put in the right quality and the quantity, then there's still a lot of hurdles that you have to go through. Meditation is not like I put in meditation, I become happier and happier, and I have less and less problems. No. Meditation is about assuming all of us have a sickness. I'm not thinking of physical, I'm not talking about physical sickness, a sickness of reincarnation. Assuming reincarnation and rolling in samsara of life and death is a sickness. You got to take medicine, right? And these meditation is like a medicine. You try this medicine, it may not work. You try this way, it may not work. Even if you tried it, it may give you an effect that is detrimental on some part of the body and not on the other part of the body. As you get deeper and deeper in your meditation, you have to go through a lot of hurdles. The Buddha has gone through a lot of hurdles in his meditation. Meditation is not about sailing a boat in the ocean and everything will be not stormy. Everything will be so smooth that you sail yourself to nirvana. Not like that. It's like you are in a ship You're in the ocean. Sometimes it's wavy, thunderstorm, thundering, and sometimes, adverse weathers that may sink your ship. So you have to go through a lot of storms to get to the destination. And there are, of course, saints who have gone through those storms and who told you that, look, in meditation is not just peaceful. It's not just rosy garden in every sitting. It's not just summer and winter and spring in all your meditation. Sometimes you could go through, like what we have today, a snowstorm. Then you may slip, you may fall, you may stumble, but then you have to get up again. Experience all the sufferings and difficulties and then get up again. Put on your knapsack on your back and walk. It's a thorny road. Going to the sainthood to get to nirvana, Buddhahood, is a road with thorns and blockages and hurdles. You have to go through it. It's like accomplishing any great feat of mankind. You have to go through a lot of hurdles, but you never give up. You stumble, you fall. Your mentor, your teacher said, get up again. Repair everything. Heal it. And then you get up in the knapsack and you walk again. The Buddha has gone through thousands of years of hurdles and difficulties and suffering to be in what he is today in the Buddhahood. He's not sailing a boat in a quiet, peaceful ocean where there's no waves. But you never give up. In one life, you will stumble and fall. You get into the next life, you do it again. Life after life, you do it again. Because you already have that energy in your alaya consciousness that you store. Everything you do, every session of meditation, every chanting, every prayer has already been key in your keyboard, which has gone through in your memory, in your disk drive. It will never disappear. So every good deed that you have done, you think everyone is going to forget about you when you die? Every good deed is registered as a karmic seed. In the Sanskrit language, it's called bija. Every action, every thought is a bija that is registered in your memory. It will never go away. So all these good deeds, all the meditation you have practiced, in this moment, when you're listening to a monk talking about nirvana, talking about how to practice, it's already registered in your life consciousness. So it's very important that everybody must talk in a meritorious way, meaningful way, and not to waste time, and not to lead you in the wrong direction. Because you already have, if you agree with it, if you don't reject it, it's already been registered in your memory. And this memory, even if in this life that you don't practice anymore, and tomorrow you're not in this world anymore, that seed is already in your, as a bija, in your alaya vijnana, which will go on to the next life, to become stronger in your next life as a meditator. And then you died again. And then if you practice well, you become stronger and stronger. And after many, many cycles of life, it finally ripened, that mature, that like what the Buddha has 2,600 years ago, has achieved nirvana. You accumulate it in your energy. So make sure that every thought, every sitting of meditation, every deed that you have done contribute towards your sainthood, towards your nirvanic state of mind, towards Buddhahood, towards Tathagata, towards suchness. There's a lot of term for it, towards Buddhahood. So how many minutes? We don't know. The more, the often, the better.